Building on the shocking stories from before, we now turn to a new selection of Hollywood's most notorious cheaters. These actors and actresses crossed lines that left fans stunned and spouses heartbroken. Some hid their infidelities for years, only to be caught in the act amid scandalous headlines. Others openly flaunted their affairs, fueling rumors and gossip that spread quickly through tabloids and social media. Behind the scenes, these betrayals often led to painful breakups, damaged reputations, and the end of long-term relationships. Their actions sometimes sparked intense media scrutiny, forcing apologies and public denial. Many of these scandalous acts involve powerful personalities, giving rise to stories of manipulation and betrayal on a grand scale. What makes these stories even more dramatic is how they contrasted with the polished images they projected on screen. Each story reflects the darker side of Hollywood life, where desire, temptation, and the pursuit of personal happiness often clash with public expectations. As we explore these cases, we reveal the true cost of fame and the secrets that sometimes lie just beneath the glittering surface. Following the story of Howard Hughes, it becomes clear how his life was filled with contradictions and darkness beneath his brilliant exterior. Hughes was known as an aviation pioneer, breaking records and pushing the boundaries of flight technology. He became a billionaire through his successful investments and industries, and he also served as a film mogul, producing and directing movies at a time when Hollywood was booming. Despite his public success, Hughes's private life was marked by a disturbing pattern of obsessive behavior and emotional manipulation. His romantic relationship with actress Terry Moore, whom he met when she was still a teenager, is a prime example of his complex personality. Moore later revealed that Hughes claimed they were secretly married in 1949, but this was never confirmed publicly. She described him as a man of immense charm and sharp intelligence, but also one capable of cruelty and emotional coldness. Hughes's manipulative tactics involved isolating Moore from her friends and family, controlling her movements and feelings while maintaining a carefully crafted public image of himself as an eccentric, desirable, and somewhat mysterious figure. Their relationship lasted 8 years, during which Moore was young and vulnerable, making her easy prey for Hughes's psychological games. Over time, she observed the darker side of his character, including paranoia, dishonesty, and a lack of genuine emotional connection. Despite his wealth and generosity, Hughes showed little concern for Moore's emotional needs, leaving her feeling used and abandoned when their relationship ended. The secret marriage, unacknowledged until many years later, added to the enigma surrounding Hughes' life, highlighting his obsession with control and secrecy. After their separation, Hughes retreated further into isolation, confining himself to hotel rooms and developing extreme obsessive-compulsive habits that worsened over time. Different from Hughes' private struggles, Moore used her experiences to tell her story openly, warning others about the emotional damage caused by falling under the influence of powerful men. Her testimony helped reshape how many viewed Hughes, not just as a genius and an accomplished individual, but as a man deeply troubled by loneliness and emotional pain. Her recounting painted a picture of a complicated man whose talents and flaws intertwined, leaving behind a legacy shadowed by personal darkness and the toll it took on those close to him. Despite her immense talent and the beauty of her voice, Judy Garland's life was filled with pain and struggle that overshadowed her accomplishments. Her soundtrack is not just a collection of songs, but a reflection of her suffering and resilience. She was born Frances Ethel Gum and became a star at a very young age because MGM pushed her into the spotlight. The studio controlled everything about her, from her looks and weight to her personal relationships. This control led her to depend on drugs like amphetamines to stay energetic and barbiturates to sleep, which created a cycle of addiction that haunted her throughout her life. Her first marriage to David Rose happened during a difficult time, and she suffered deeply when she agreed to have an abortion, feeling emotionally shattered and broken. Her second marriage to Vincente Minnelli started well, especially during the filming of Meet Me in St. Louis, where her talent shone brightly. They had a daughter, Liza Minnelli, who continued her family's show business tradition, but their marriage was strained by Garland's mental health issues, rumors of affairs, and the stress of being the main breadwinner. After their divorce in 1951, Garland's life spiraled downward, marked by multiple suicide attempts and repeated hospitalizations. Her performances remained powerful, but often unpredictable, showing her inner turmoil. She married 5 times, each marriage reflecting her deep longing for love and stability. Garland's life ended prematurely in 1969, at just 47. her body worn out by years of substance abuse. Her soundtrack is filled with songs that echo her emotional pain, her unyielding spirit, and her tragic life story. Despite her death, she remains a symbol of both incredible talent and tragic loss, an icon whose story highlights the dark side of Hollywood fame. Despite her stunning appearance and the fame she achieved, Rita Hayworth's life was filled with struggles that few knew about behind the glamorous image. Born Margarita Cancino, she transformed into one of the most beautiful women of the 1940s, thanks mainly to the influence of her first husband and manager, Edward Judson. From a young age, Judson controlled almost every aspect of her life, changing her name, and even making her undergo painful electrolysis to lift her hairline, hoping to create a more exotic and appealing look. He pushed her into roles that emphasized her sexuality, using her beauty as a tool for power in Hollywood, but this left her feeling emotionally isolated and trapped. Her rise to fame was swift, and she became a Hollywood icon recognized across the world, especially remembered for her role in the film Gilda. Yet, her personal life was marked by chaos and pain as she married 5 times. Her marriages included ones to the famous filmmaker Orson Welles and Prince Ali Khan, a member of a renowned Muslim royal family. Welles loved her deeply, but tried to control her, attempting to reshape her into a version he preferred, echoing her earlier experiences with Judson. Their marriage was intense but tumultuous, ending in separation. Her marriage to Prince Ali Khan took her into the glamorous world of aristocracy, but cultural differences and rumors of infidelity caused their union to fall apart quickly. She tried to return to Hollywood and rebuild her career, but the industry had changed, and her star power diminished. Throughout her life, Hayworth struggled with her personal happiness, and in her later years, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, which went undiagnosed for some time, further isolating her from friends and fans. She remains one of the most photographed women of her time, representing both the beauty of Hollywood's golden age and a life filled with emotional pain and unfulfilled desires. Her story remains a reminder of the price some paid for fame and beauty. Despite his fame and talent, Spencer Tracy's life was filled with contradictions and hidden pain that shaped who he was. Known for his natural acting style and quiet strength, Tracy was also a man grappling with complex emotions and personal struggles. He was married to Louise Tracy for over 40 years, and they seemed to have a stable family life on the surface. However, behind the scenes, Tracy kept a secret relationship with Katharine Hepburn that lasted for 27 years. Their bond was deep and full of mutual respect, yet it remained hidden from the public eye. Tracy was a devout Catholic and refused to divorce Louise because he believed it was a sin. Some say he saw his marriage as a divine test or punishment, which only added to his inner turmoil. Their son, John, was born deaf, a fact that haunted Tracy deeply. He often saw his son's condition as a punishment for his sins, which made him feel guilty and contributed to his struggles with alcohol and self-doubt. Although Tracy and Louise remained married, they maintained a respectful public image, and Hepburn accepted her role as Tracy's secret partner. On set or in private, Tracy and Hepburn's affection was clear. They shared lunch, exchanged notes, and supported each other emotionally, yet they never openly acknowledged their relationship. Hepburn was a strong and independent woman, but she softened her personality to be with Tracy, cooking for him, making accommodations in her life, and walking behind him in social situations. Their last film together, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, was completed when Tracy was seriously ill. Hepburn stood by him throughout the filming, helping him cope with each scene. Just days after finishing the movie, Tracy died suddenly of a heart attack. Hepburn chose not to attend his funeral, respecting Louise's feelings, and later revealed in her memoir that Tracy was the great love of her life. Their love was kept secret out of loyalty and respect, creating one of Hollywood's most poignant and complex love stories. Despite his fame as a talented actor, Errol Flynn's life outside the screen was full of chaos and controversy. Known for his role as the daring hero in movies like Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood, he also earned a reputation as a charming rogue because of his rebellious ways. Flynn's troubled youth started long before he became famous. As a teenager, he was expelled from schools in both Australia and the United Kingdom for theft and for having an affair with an older household maid. This affair, along with a broken engagement to a girl from a wealthy family, hurt his future prospects and social reputation. These early problems pushed Flynn toward a life filled with adventure and defiance. As an adult, he lived a life marked by drinking, womanizing, and controversy. Public scandals followed him, and in 1942 he was accused of statutory rape. Although he was acquitted in court, the accusations made his reputation even more notorious. Still, his handsome looks and magnetic personality kept him popular with audiences and directors, allowing him to continue playing heroic roles that contrasted sharply with his real-life behavior. Flynn's legend grew not just because of his talent, but because he seemed to live by his own rules. His life was full of charm, scandal, and reckless choices. These stories helped him stay a part of Hollywood's history, creating a legacy that combines acting greatness with a darker reputation of living dangerously and boldly. His life story remains a mix of admired performance and infamous personal scandals, making him a memorable figure in entertainment history. Despite her fame as one of Hollywood's most glamorous stars, Joan Crawford's life was full of controversy and strong-willed actions that made her a legend both on and off-screen. She was known for her commanding presence and elegance, but beneath that polished exterior, she was fiercely independent and unafraid to challenge societal expectations. Crawford used her beauty and charisma as tools of influence, engaging in affairs with many co-stars, studio executives, and younger men. These relationships were often strategic, helping her navigate the complex Hollywood hierarchy. One of the most scandalous claims involved her alleged relationship with actor Jackie Cooper, who was only 17 when she was 34. This revelation shocked many, adding to the intense rumors about her private life and fueling her fiery reputation. She openly pursued romantic relationships regardless of age or gender, sometimes with women, which shocked the conservative industry she worked in. Whispers of long-term same-sex relationships with female colleagues circulated among Hollywood insiders, making her even more intriguing and controversial. Her long-standing feud with Bette Davis also became the stuff of Hollywood legend, fueled by accusations of shared lovers and deeply conflicting egos, which played out in public battles and behind closed doors. As Crawford aged and her film roles became fewer, her boldness was often used against her, painting her as difficult and demanding. Nonetheless, she remained an emblem of female strength, refusing to let Hollywood or societal norms define her. Her life stories, especially those detailed in her adopted daughter Christina Crawford's memoir Mommy Dearest, painted her in a harsh light, showing a difficult and sometimes abusive woman. However, many of her friends and colleagues saw her as a survivor, someone who used her sexuality, ambition, and intelligence to succeed in an industry that sought to control women. Her story continues to evoke admiration for her resilience and the way she fought for her independence in a time when women faced strict limitations. Joan Crawford's life is a powerful example of glamour, ambition, and unwavering self-determination, making her a figure of fascination and debate still today. Despite being recognized as one of the most influential actors of the 20th century, Marlon Brando's personal life was filled with turmoil and emotional struggles. His relationship with Rita Moreno, which started in the 1950s during the filming of the movie Desiree, was marked by intense emotions and a dangerous mix of love and betrayal. Brando, known for his charm and attractiveness, was also a womanizer who juggled several affairs while maintaining a complicated connection with Moreno. Their relationship was full of ups and downs, with Moreno often left heartbroken by his infidelity and emotional distance. Still, she admitted to feeling deeply drawn to him because of his intelligence and unconventional personality. Their affair lasted nearly 8 years, a time filled with pain that Moreno bore in silence. She hid the emotional pain, but it eventually led to her making a suicide attempt with sleeping pills after discovering Brando had impregnated another woman. Luckily, she survived the ordeal and later spoke about it openly, turning her painful experience into a source of strength. Over time, Moreno rebuilt her life, became a celebrated actress, and achieved EGOT status by winning the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards. Her journey from being emotionally hurt by Brando to becoming an icon of resilience and success highlights her inner strength. Although Brando's acting talent remains widely admired, his complex personal relationships, especially his affair with Moreno, left deep scars that still resonate today. Despite her fame as the ultimate symbol of 20th century femininity, Marilyn Monroe's life was filled with deep sadness and loneliness. Born Norma Jean Mortensen, she experienced a difficult childhood marked by foster homes, abuse, and abandonment. Despite these hardships, she managed to rise from obscurity to become one of Hollywood's most glamorous stars. She played the role of the dumb blonde flawlessly, but behind the camera, Monroe was very intelligent, introspective, and emotionally complex. Her personal life was just as tumultuous as her career. She married baseball star Joe DiMaggio and later writer Arthur Miller, but both marriages ended in failure. Rumors say she had affairs with many men, including President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy. These alleged relationships made her famous beyond her movies, especially when she performed Happy Birthday for JFK at Madison Square Garden. Her behavior in her last weeks showed signs of emotional instability, and many believe she knew secrets that could have threatened powerful figures. Some conspiracy theories suggest she was murdered because she threatened to reveal secrets, linking her death to political cover-ups. However, biographers argue her connections to the Kennedys were brief and exaggerated, possibly just flirtation. The real tragedy lies in Monroe's desire for love, respect, and control, which she never fully received in her life. Her death at only 36 years old remains one of Hollywood's most haunting and unresolved mysteries. Certainly, Ava Gardner, often regarded as one of the most glamorous women ever to grace Hollywood, led a life filled with passion, drama, and intense relationships. Her affair with Frank Sinatra started while he was still married to Nancy Barbato, which caused a major scandal at the time. Their relationship was not quiet or simple. Instead, it was marked by wild behavior and fiery emotions. On their very first date, they reportedly drank too much and ended the night by shooting out streetlights with a pistol, showing the reckless side of their romance. As their love story unfolded in the public eye, newspapers reveled in their passionate conflicts and volatile moments. In 1951, they decided to marry despite many strong objections from critics, religious groups, and Hollywood studios, who felt that their union would upset Hollywood tradition. Gardner's marriage to Sinatra boosted his career significantly, as she encouraged him to audition for the role in the film From Here to Eternity, which earned him an Oscar, reviving his career. Despite this, their marriage was often disturbed by jealousy, alcohol, and fierce arguments. Sinatra was known to be possessive, and Gardner's growing fame and independence made reconciliation difficult. They divorced in 1957, but their emotional connection continued long afterward. Gardner confessed later that Sinatra was her true love, and even after their split, he supported her financially, including allegedly paying her to delay publishing her memoirs. Her earlier marriages to Mickey Rooney and Artie Shaw had also been stormy, keeping her love life in the spotlight. From her early days as a teenager, when her photograph caught the eye of MGM scouts, Gardner's career was marked by her striking beauty, emotional complexity, and the star-studded personal life that kept the tabloids busy. Despite his reputation as the king of Hollywood, Clark Gable's life was filled with complexities that went beyond his charming on-screen persona. His relationship with actress Carole Lombard is often remembered as one of Hollywood's greatest love stories, yet it was marked by pain, secrecy, and betrayal. Gable met Lombard in the early 1930s during shared film projects, and their connection deepened over time. The romance officially began in 1936 at a glamorous Hollywood ball, but Gable was still married to Rhea Langham at that time. Due to contractual obligations and financial reasons, Gable kept his feelings hidden for years. Only after he finalized his divorce in 1939 did he marry Lombard, and for a while they appeared to be Hollywood's perfect couple. However, their marriage was strained by personal issues, including Lombard's struggle with infertility and Gable's ongoing extramarital affairs. Biographer Robert Mattson revealed that in 1942, Gable had an affair with a much younger co-star, which led to a fierce argument between him and Lombard. Throughout their marriage, Gable's infidelities caused emotional pain. Lombard, committed to supporting the war effort, decided to fly home instead of taking the train, a choice that tragically resulted in her death when her plane crashed into Potosi Mountain. Gable was devastated and never truly recovered from her loss. After her death, he enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Forces, possibly seeking atonement or distraction. The guilt he carried over his affair and her untimely death haunted him deeply, casting a shadow over his legendary career and highlighting the tragic side of Hollywood's brightest stars. In conclusion, this video highlights some of the most shocking cases of infidelity in Hollywood, showing how even the most admired stars can fall into betrayal and misconduct. The stories reveal that behind the glamorous facade, there are struggles, secrets, and personal decisions that can devastate families and fans alike. These scandals remind us that fame does not make anyone immune to temptation or mistakes, and that the public often learns about these betrayals through tabloid headlines and social media. While some celebrities apologize or face the consequences, others continue to live in the glare of scandal, These stories serve as a reminder of the high costs that come with being in the spotlight, where personal choices can have far-reaching effects. Ultimately, they reveal the complex nature of fame and the human vulnerabilities beneath Hollywood's polished